Welcome, SASANS, to this week's episode of SASANS and Dragons. I am Magnus Beasticus, your dungeon master for the evening. Joining me as our adventurers on tonight's adventure, to my left, your bottom right.
I am Luna, and I am playing Thunkey Beerbot. I don't know if I looked the right way. A female mountain dwarf druid, level 10.
And my name is ENZER, and I play Timarius, a male grey dwarf, sorcerer, level 10. Wild sorcerer.
Did you just pee? Yeah. To my bottom right, your bottom left.
Hey there, Rummy.
Hi, I am Valkyrie in. Dang,
Whoa, calm
hold
it
on.
down.
I am Rummy
Calm
the
it
Ever
down.
Living. I play Valkyrie in Invictarii.
He's a really good role player.
Male protector Aasimar, fighter level 8, wizard level 2, altogether level
What?
10.
That's an interesting combination.
Yeah. Hercheck Bane, Maximus Dominus, level 10, 8, 2, fighter, Barbarian of the Storm Herald.
So 8 fighter, 2 bear barbarian.
Yep.
Okay.
That makes sense. Hold on.
We're never gonna figure this
Line
one
it
out.
up.
When last we left Orin's Obliterate, they had been flown back 4 days in time, avoiding the catastrophe of Orinbel. Queen Ist Lavelle had come out of the newly shaped blue Prisma Castle, floating atop the city of Orinbel, to caress Kunbara in her arms. Kunbara, now having to become queen of Orinbel. Orin's Obliterate had been paid the 15,000 gold pieces, and were told to prepare for the ceremony, for the sending of King Triandal, as well as the crowning of Kunbara. After 2 weeks' notice, that is when this event will happen. Within that 2 weeks, Tim bought an entirely new wardrobe, deciding to replace the scraps that were sort of the bare minimum amount of clothing that any being could wear. He then also got Penke a makeover, and becoming fast new friends, he trained in Penke's pocket. That sounds bad, but he trained in the bag of holding that Penke calls his home for nearly the entire 2 weeks.
Don't underplay our garbs. We're the finest looking gentlemen on the streets of Orinbel now.
It's Tim with his floppy new, what color is it?
Teal.
Teal.
Black and teal.
Floppy new black and teal robes with the clamp that Queen Islavel had given him to pretty much clean himself up and make him look a bit more regal, as well as, it's not fishnets, but what kind of shoes did you wear? Anyway, trained for 2 weeks. Thunkey, on the other hand, found new love and opened up a very prestigious shop in the the mercantile district, on the backside of a few other shops, and at the end of a few different dark alleys, and opened up a bread and beer restaurant, bakery,
Bar?
brewery, a bar. Okay.
Brew bread?
Brew Bread Bot. It was the name of
Beer bread bot.
Beer Bread Bot. Was the name
Better get some
God.
props there.
of the of
That's
her new establishment.
Beer bread bot.
Varkir,
Brotbot?
in
Brotbot.
his new mind, or with his new mind, decided to walk about the town, get the lay of the land, as well as have a gauntlet made that will hopefully keep some of his past darkness at bay.
The Infinity Stones.
Hercheck had decided to go on his own quest back to the Incinder Forest, having saved Yerg and a few of Yerg's companions in the meantime, and learned much of his guardian patron deity in the process from Nornaga, the leader of the Severed Giants.
We're besties.
We pick up now 2 weeks later. Them all in various positions throughout Orenbell. Nighttime descending. Zapdash delivering the royal invitation to the ceremony. Noticing that Orenbell is lit up. Many different candles and magics are happening in the area in celebration. The streets are filled. Varkir, as you pick up your gauntlet, you get this invitation. As you, Thunkey, finally put on the sign, Beerbot. Is it Beerbot? What was it again? Beerbot. Nailing in the last nail, Zapdash taps you on the shoulder with a royal invitation. Tim and Hercheck get theirs at the same time. And
Like dropped into the bag of holding?
no, you guys flew out of the bag of holding, and then there are a few days left that you spent in Orenbell. And it just tells you to come to the royal gondola where you were dropped off leaving the Prisma Castle in sort of this floating diagonal waterfall leading back up to the floating island. The Prisma Castle itself, so as to not light the entire city, has also grown to a faint blue dim. And you can see banners have been put up. You can see, again, just sort of different magical energies. You can see people preparing spells of their own. You can see kids like running around playing. The entire city is alight. And you guys are, you guys all meet pretty much at the same time at the Royal Gondola, and you can take it up. As the sun has finally slipped beneath the horizon.
I give old Varkir and Thunkey a big old hug. It's been a while. 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
I've braided ceremonial braids in my hair
Okay.
and put on my
Looking
best
good,
dress.
Varkir. Yeah.
What are you wearing?
My normal attire. You notice that I have the, Starlight Conqueror on my back. I got the glove on. And I got
you noticed.
I got a skull belt.
Skull
It's-
belt.
It's supposed to be formal attire.
No one didn't say that in the invitation.
It did.
It did.
Look at the rest of us.
I'm
We're all
looking good for the
formal.
both of us.
I'm a Goliath
I got you.
barbarian. This is looking nice for me. You're welcome. You're lucky I even showered.
I swoosh my robe open and do like a long lunge with one leg forward.
Are those Lulus?
Pretty much, yeah, the fantasy equivalent to Lulu's.
Nice.
Um,
Are you still blue?
Looking good.
With the
Yeah.
Pumention door in the
Wow.
in his rear quarters of
Oh
the pants.
yeah.
yeah, there's like a green light
Ugh.
emanating the. What do you mean? It's
I don't know, it
it's a
sounds even
nice
worse.
light.
Oh,
You know.
ass light.
Just- yeah.
Taking the
Ass light.
gondola up, you get a better visual of the tops of Orenbell, and you can see the people have gathered even on the rooftops. You can see various different just wild displays of magic that you haven't seen in a time of peace before. Normally these the level of magic going on here you've only ever seen sort of on a battlefield. Magics clashing against magics, but you can see entire sort of blocks with illusions of Triandal sort of looking down sort of patronly amongst the crowd. Sort of like, imagine a Ghost in the Shell type hologram situation, and other forms of Triandal standing victoriously as illusions go. You can see kids floating in the air on different purple hands throughout the city. Just large, gigantic hands with no body connected to them. You can see people flying around, just hanging in the air, as well as different sort of small contained floating islands with some of the Harmony of Quake's monks sort of like using their hymns to lift them.
I go to them and I just Do I see the main one?
Uh,
I don't remember his
no.
name. Oh.
Kind. You can see thousands of different globes of lights just floating in the air as well as you're lifted above, seeing the sort of multiple different tiers of magic in the city. There are traces of magical sentences as well, prayers, thank yous to Triandal, to the royal family. And when you make it to the top, you are greeted by 2 of the Orenbell Knights and 1 of the Celestial Order, their sort of magical branch of their military.
Oh, that's new.
Yeah.
It's Chris?
No, you do not notice Chris just yet. And they guide you to, honestly, you guys just sort of skirt along the edge, and they tell you to take your place sort of on these stairs that descend beneath the primary platform, and it's sort of like the theater seating. When you go to an opera house or something like that, you guys are sort of front and center. And to your right, you see this very long path that extends out of the island and ends in a circle, sort of like a walking platform where somebody would present to...
Like a runway?
Exactly. A runway. Perfect. Yes.
Know my fashion.
And you notice on the runway the crown. The crown that you know to be the ancient crown of the royal families. So you guys are all waiting here, seeing these different displays of magic to appreciate and celebrate the life of King Triandal. Some are even of scenes of epic battle, of him like leaping from roof to roof, slaying mythical creatures. You notice some movement along the perimeter of the walls, sort of these dark shadows waving their hands in the air. Look closer, it reveals them to be other mages and sorcerers from the Celestial Order. And you can see the clouds, any cloud in the sky is sort of being pushed away with the wave of their hands to a perimeter far, many miles to the outside of the city. And you can see almost as though with the clouds, any sort of light pollution and even a lens of magnification over the nighttime sky. It's more clear than you've ever seen before. You can see different forms of nebulas and constellations and star systems and the shape of the galaxy as we see it in ours, only in this sort of like crossing form. Many different vibrant colors. And there's only one thing that sort of stands out among all of them, and that's a single blue shooting star. What?
Sorry. This music is interesting.
Yeah, it sounded
like
romancy.
jazzy.
It's
I feel like Kumbara's gonna come down the runway and like.
Okay, we'll change.
Like, she's gonna.
I
she's-
swoo.
I
At
basically,
19,
I
swoo.
basically imagine Jessica Rabbit as Kumbara.
Now
It-
not a
replace
bad-
Jessica Rabbit
so
with
you
Tim,
have not seen Cowboy
and you're
Bebop,
not wrong.
which is what that song is from, and you would certainly not associate it with what you just made the mistake of associating it with.
Jessica Rabbit's not a bad thing. Doesn't Kumbara have red hair?
We'll do this one, this
Could
maybe.
work.
Kumbara does have red hair. Yes.
Yeah, it could work.
Anyway, you see one single blue comet in the night sky shooting up, and everybody sort of quiets down at this point, and you can still see the sort of golden sheen of the regiment from Capillico on the outskirts of the city. And again, it sort of hits you, just sort of like the level of king that Triandal was, and exactly who you guys went on such a long journey to try and save.
Where's his body? Because if we all went 4 days in the past, wouldn't his body still be 4 days in the future?
You don't see his body. Yeah, there is no body. Kunbara comes out of the dimly lit castle. Oh, and sorry, across from you on the underside, parallel to you on the other side, are some of the nobles, as well as Islavel, the near previous queen. And Kunbara walks out of the castle. It sort of flares blue one more time as she steps through the comet. And she's in her full silver, scaled and blue silken ceremonial attire. Just a white, glowing lines crossing and connecting over the fabric, sort of like a lattice on the blue fabric. And she sort of looks down to your group as she's walking above you and past you with these sort of sad, sort of confident eyes. And she continues to walk forward. She has her lance in her hand, but there's something different about it this time. And she walks all the way to the end of the runway, and you can see other members of the Celestial Circle sort of waving their hands and whispering something, and then they stop. And Kunbara, as she speaks, her voice sort of booms across the entire city. And she says, "We send the brightest of our stars home this night. A star that protected and guided us all to greater, clearer oceans. Our king, Triandal." And nobody sort of cheers or anything. It is more of like a somber moment than anything else. And she raises the lance, which you now see has been sort of reborn with the Starchild as the tip of the lance, the blade of it, highlighting. And she cuts a new constellation into the air with connecting blue lines.
You're waiting for the drop.
No, I'm not. Sorry. And she says, "Honor, strength, wisdom, faith, righteousness. May you light our paths." And she sends the spear through the center of the constellation. It sort of slowly pulses outwards and floats towards the sky and starts to spin higher and higher and faster before the connection points break apart and scatter to join the night sky, highlighting a new constellation for King Triandal in the shape of a lion. She she says, she puts the lance away, and she grabs the crown and puts it on her head, and she says, "I now take my father's place on the throne, and my first act is to undo the single mistake our family is guilty of, the single crack in a mountain of thorough and virtuous rule. We lied to you. Our king did not die of any mortal sickness. No natural way of this world. He was murdered by a mortal soul attempting to grasp immortal power. I speak of a woman by the name of Coltessa von Mar." And the Celestial Order chants one more thing, and a vision of Coltessa, pretty much the picture that I brought up of her sort of like floating there, appears, and she's missing one arm. And
Hercheck smirks.
Minor illusion and eyebrow. Unibrow on her.
Nice. And you hear some of the kids that are close by on the hands, on the purple hands, sort of go, "She looks silly." And
Shut up.
Respect it. Respect the ceremony. And she says, "Should you see this villain, this creature of deceit, I ask that you do not intervene, but burn into your mind the scenes in which you find her, and report it to our knights. We must all work together to fight against this evil in the world. And to that end, she looks towards you all, I now present Orin's Obliterate, and your chunk sort of detaches off and floats around to the front of her. And she says, the heroes who fought against Coltessa and not only came out unscathed, but with one of her arms in hand.
I wish I had it.
As we have been As we have been living peacefully within our walls, Orin's Obliterate cleansed our blackened evergreen forest of the Titanus Shambler, another byproduct of Coltessa's meddling. And then she takes her spear and she slams, well, from her back end, she slams it down, blade down into the ground, and the pommel flares up, and you can see a perfect memory of they gained us a powerful ally in the Gragnar Mountains, the lost storm giants. And as she slams the spear down into the ground, the memory comes up, and it's Hercheck jumping off a wall and pulsing this giant fireball blast into a giant tentacled, multi-limbed creature, and then Tim's form sort of grows up into the scene with Thunkey in hand and doing a Kamehameha blast to the creature, withering it away, and then it snaps to a scene of Hercheck fist bumping Nornaga on the bridge leading to Ildfell.
I'm gonna slip him some like, you know, like
Some woogies?
Some
woogity woogities?
little high fives, low fives,
Yeah.
you know, under the radar though. It's for us.
These
Everybody's looking at us.
Yeah, exactly. These are the heroes who reunited Orinbel with our kingdom's most prized treasures. Daphnis and Orin's crowns, gifted to our ancestors by Le Chantier herself. She slams down the spear once more, and another view pulses into existence, and it's of Tim.
Oh, God.
Down on one knee, handing the crown back to Kunvara in the Belladonna system. And she goes, and I now present to them these luminary gems. And she pulls out of her gown, don't ask me from where, this, what looks to be the Triforce. But each triangle is a different color.
Oh.
And the floating island that you guys are now on connects to her platform. And she walks up to you, Hercheck, and says, I present to you, Hercheck, the luminary gem of might. Your strength, power, and passion are all virtues that accentuate each other and define who you are. They give you the power to move you as well as those around you. Hone them, and never lose them. And a red star from the top sort of spins down to you. And pretty much wherever you want to put this, it'll stay there forever inside of your skin.
Really?
Yes. To be branded by these luminary gems is to be branded a hero in Orinbel, and to be marked until the end of time.
Okay, I was like, do I gotta do it now?
And
It's a big commitment.
yeah, you take the gem and then you step back onto the platform. Thunkey, I present to you the luminary gem of life. You're the most unorthodox nature shaper I've ever known. Truly nothing can define your way of life, as nothing leads you but your own heart. And in turn, you Oh, and in turn, your heart leads life to you. And she sort of looks around at the people collected around you. And she leans into your ear, and she says, I'm sure Big Swag remembers you.
I'm gonna immediately cry. Ugly cry.
And it is a... I'm actually sorry. Yours is not red. Yours is
blue.
purple.
Okay.
Yours is white.
Are we gonna have to beat Thanos?
What? Are we going to have to beat Thanos?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we all have to
In
give him
the
the
next
ball
campaign.
Not
here.
at all.
Puts him in the glove.
Not at all.
Oh, thank God.
And you take the gem and you step back. You can say something to Kumbar if you wish.
I'm just ugly crying as I shake her hand.
Var Kier, I present to you the luminary gem of mind. A blue gem. I'm sorry. Let's just do this. We'll switch it. Yours is blue. Yours is purple.
I went from red to purple to blue. This gem is multicolored. Awesome.
I didn't actually write down any of the colors before doing this.
Why can't it be
It's,
red?
it's a
I
huge
like,
gem.
I like it.
You'll-
Yeah. I like it red.
Past your cold words and beneath your dark exterior lies an innocent intellect that pierces shadows and defines the very nature. Now it's time to define who you are, as you have helped me define who I am. And she presents to you the purple gem.
Purple.
What?
Yeah, oh yeah, it's gotta be purple.
Now it's
Said
purple.
cold thing?
No, I said his was blue. I'm changing it. Yours is purple. We can just, whatever colors you want, they'll turn into.
Okay, cool.
Okay. I'm gonna leave it
Changing
red.
mine to green.
Well, you'll see why that may not make sense. But anyway. And Timarius, I present to you the luminary heart, or the luminary gem of spoiler alert heart.
Okay, that doesn't make okay. Makes more sense.
She leans down into your ear and she says, "You've come a long way out of your caves." She winks at you.
Oh.
Hey.
Okay.
Did you do that?
Yeah, pull out my sword. No, I don't do that.
A calm and unflinching resolve, the heart in the middle of a wild and untamable storm. I never knew just what you would do, but I always knew it would be right. And the red gem floats to you.
I'm going to reach out and grab it, and then bring it to my mouth or my nose and sniff, lick, bite it.
Does it stick to your tongue?
Yeah,
Like
or
sticks to
into
your
his
body
tooth.
whenever you touch it.
Like now you have
Oh
a
no,
gem tooth.
no, it doesn't do that.
You have to attune it. It
gotta-
won't count as an attuned item, but you have to sort of like spend an amount of time with it and like reflect on it.
I see.
Magnificent! And then I slap it right on my forehead, upside
That's what I was gonna
upside
do.
down. Do it.
God damn
You just hear two ding.
it.
On
Look
both
at
of
each
them.
other like,
You lick it first and do the spoon thing.
I say, Kunbara, every moment was worth it. I did miss my cave, but I'm sure I'm going back, and when I do, you should come visit. Show you around the cave.
I'm sure we'd like to keep you in. Are you trying to persuade her in any direction?
Trying to swoo her.
No, but I am gonna go in for a kiss.
So
Where?
bold.
Yeah, that's
Her
so,
cheek.
Okay.
You can't reach.
But I'm gonna grab her head.
Oh.
and then-
She's
Ew.
I would highly recommend.
I'm gonna
not.
cringe a little bit just watching
Yeah,
this.
this is in front of everybody.
I'm sure Oren Bell would love to see. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, that's nice too. Okay.
Ah,
Gross.
you taste like a queen.
And she Thank you. And she doesn't wipe off the smear.
There's no smear.
He's clean.
He's clean.
I'm clean.
You made it seem like you were like
Oh, slobber.
Yeah.
Ew.
Nice old wet one.
Ew.
And she nods to you, and she continues to say, I'm sure Orenbel would love to see you stick around, but...
I try to give her a wink,
Duergars.
but it's like just bad.
He's first wink ever.
She catches it. Puts it where the luminary gems came out of.
I'm smiling and like
Hercheck's like looking
nudging
over
people.
like, I'm staring like Samuel L. Jackson staring like.
You rolled a 12 last time, Hercheck. Settle down. I'm just kidding. I rage. You step back down onto the platform, and she says, I fear you all have a trying time ahead of you. So, we have more gifts.
She's nervous. First time.
And she leads. She opens up. She sort of like spins her body to the side and lets this servant come by with this light blue pillow, holding a
nice pillow.
Cloaked in this sort of like silk sheet with different stars embedded in it, and on top of the cloak is a very, very deep blue with like silvery swirls inside of it elixir. Take this elixir of life. It can revive anyone to their fullest of vitalities. Clear any... I can't say curse because Triandal would have used it well. Clears any ailments.
Totally forgot about it.
Use it in your tightest of pinches. I'm just kidding.
She doesn't.
No, she doesn't. And under it is the cloak of the cosmos. Wear this cloak once a week, or once a week you may use the collected starlight from this cloak to completely rejuvenate yourself. You don't have to sleep once. You can just bypass an entire...
Can we all use it, or only one person?
Only one person. And so it's like a shawl cloak thing. And as I can no longer journey with you, I present to you, and she sort of waves her hand to the side, and underneath the floating island, vines grow out and hold themselves in front of you all, in front of her, why can I never remember it? What's it called? Catwalk? Runway. In front of you all, in front of the runway, and curled in these vines are, and anything magical that's happening, like you see an Order of the Circle, just like making it happen on the side. And embedded in these roots is a humanoid form. And she says, Cumentus's most prized possession and friend. We found him like this in Cumentus's lab in the castle after his passing. He has dormantly watched over it ever since. He may need some juice to jumpstart his system, but he has been well preserved. We can deliver him to the fancy main when the ceremony is over. And they see Crow.
Who's Crow?
Wait, so is he activated?
No, he's not. He's sleeping in sort of like a stasis position, and some of the roots from his own body are also grown inside of the tree as well.
Nice. Do you want me to say anything?
You can describe how he looks.
Oh,
is this you?
yeah. I wasn't ready for this. I could actually just bring up the picture.
I can put it on the screen if you send it, but
Yeah.
you should.
I'll send it to you. But essentially, it is a wooden warforged. So just picture almost like a fantasy robot / android. He's got like modular wooden base, so he can like emote and everything. He does have
Like
expressions.
Millennial Man?
Yeah, a little bit like a Millennial Man, probably like a little simpler than Millennial Man.
Pinocchio?
Not that simple. He's about 6 feet tall, and he's not like, you know, doesn't have a wide build, but kind of a very thin build. His legs look like they are just built for running. Yeah, I don't know, maybe those like little bendy.
I'm just picturing like Usain Bolt's legs.
Yeah, just like that, but wooden.
Yeah.
And because he's deactivated, I don't want to go fully into detail, but we'll say that he's got a cloak on, just kind of like over his head, so it's not revealing too much. And the cloak is wrapped around the front, and it's exposing parts of his body, but we'll save the full reveal for later.
Okay. And with that, the crow, the roots holding crow, slip back underneath the floating platform, and Kunbara addresses everybody again, and she says, "Now is no time for mourning. I ask that you celebrate our king's life and the deeds of Orin's Obliterate this night. Dance, play, release yourselves tonight and show the stars that our brightness is second only to their own." And with that, everybody just, like, it's almost like a solar flare of different colors of magics, just like celebrate. Like, imagine if you were a sorcerer in this time, and it's like when we yell, when we're super passionate, like, rah, yeah, they're just releasing everything they have into the air.
Yeah, I'm releasing the pillar of lighting, but horizontal. So
Tim is just wildly firebolting into the air. Yeah. Roman candle, like.
And the comet that was shooting before shatters and descends into thousands or hundreds of different streaks of blue light that are swirling and descending on Orin Bell, and they all, like a fantasy fireworks show, just a single-handed comet finale, pretty much, to highlight the night. And Kunbara looks down to you all as your platform goes back to the edge of the floating island. She goes, "Play. Have fun tonight. The Belladonna district is where it's at. I must speak with my mother. And thank you for everything." And she walks away. I'll see you later. You guys can't sort of speak with her. It's not in a huge hurry, but like music has started to play, sort of festive music, and a lot of, you can hear the volume of sort of loud conversations and laughing and like cups clinking.
I'm gonna grab whoever's on my right and left, and I don't know how Tim would know this, but he just gets the feeling inside, and he's gonna take a knee and force the two next to them down, so that they're on their knees as well.
I'll gladly get down and kneel.
New.
I'm just behind you.
And I'm hoping it's like the ripple effect, because she is now the new queen.
Roll a charisma. Just straight charisma.
12. Wait. Luck.
Ooh.
You should also have an inspiration dice. I'm not sure if you used it. Yeah, it's
he
being.
did.
Oh.
I
It's
did,
my
yeah.
inspiration dice.
I used.
What if I give him my
Flying, you can do
inspiration
that
dice?
with the-
I gift you the I don't know if I can get it back out of here.
I can roll it.
You can just roll anything else.
Oh, fine.
Yeah, just roll this. 20.
Wow.
Here.
God damn.
Don't use this. Use another one.
Mine usually rolls
Wow.
pretty good. You'll get them one day. Come on.
I actually, especially if now we've foreshadowed something. As we leveled up, I gained a powerful spell, and I'm gonna lightly use it. It's telekinesis. So, with good intentions, I'm going to basically pull other people down, as many as I
I'm
can.
gonna look at everybody. Kneel!
Whoa. And I'll try and time it with that as well. But yeah, I'll use the telekinesis to.
with advantage.
You're very high in the air. There's not a lot of people other than your immediate team surrounding you.
Oh, there's not all the people in the city of Orenbell.
I don't think telekinesis can reach all the way over there.
You are a few hundred feet above them.
Hold on here. Give me a moment. A few hundred. Fine. Okay. Well, I don't do that.
Well, you do hear cheers of "To the new queen! Taurens obliterate our saviors!" Throughout the...
Are there little walls on this platform that one?
Yeah, they're little, knee-high walls.
Then as I stand up from the kneeling position, I'm going to go from kneeling and then jump straight up into a goat. And then I'm just going to excitedly be jumping around on the platform and jumping off the little half walls and stuff like that.
Yeah. And I'll take Hercheck's arms, and then I'll start, going in a circle.
I swing him in a circle. Woo!
Yeah, we're very merry at this point.
Everybody's just, and it's very infectious as everybody. There is near no dour sight. There's not a place that you can look where anybody is not giving their full amount of joy to this occasion.
Oh, and I'm paying attention. Let there be one. Let there be one. He wasn't that good of a king.
Hercheck just jumps off. Okay, what would you guys like to do?
How do we get back down?
Yeah.
You can just go to the...
Just climb down.
So it's where would you be headed? The entire city is pretty...
The Belladonna system.
Okay. Okay.
Wait. Maybe we should pregame. Hey, you got that ale, Thunkey?
That was really ticklish. Yeah. You can cut that out of the video. He barely poked me, but it was so ticklish that I had a really violent reaction. Anyways. Yeah, I have tons of my new brew.
Bust it out.
And bread.
I bust out a big old mug of just fill her up.
I do that for everyone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, congratulations.
It's my side
Yeah,
purse is
to the
actually,
married couple.
One of those things.
Where's your husband?
He's back at home tending to the shop while I accept this award.
Wow, you didn't want to be here for your big day.
No, I did, but we have to keep it open. Tonight is a night of celebration. We're hoping that our beer bar
Oh, you're here for
is
promotional.
very full
Okay.
tonight.
Promotional. Big old kegs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you supply the beer for the ale?
No.
Oh, that would have been smart.
Yeah. I just couldn't get it ready in time.
More for us.
Yeah. Small batch for us.
Yeah, fuck you. Yeah. Ooh.
I don't drink.
More power to you.
So, your beer bread bot shop somehow did end up being the talk of Orenbell leading up to the celebration, because before you had left on this journey, you had won a competition. You had won a competition in the mercantile district, and had not only given everybody, I think, a coupon to shop, to pretty much get some of your brew, but also you had won overwhelmingly, and the entire crowd sort of were singing your praises across the town. So, in order to maintain that rush, do you know Gruff's stats?
Does he have
Yeah.
magical helpers?
Does he have magical helpers?
Yeah, he's a wizard, right? Like summon some astral figures to. I don't know. I'm picturing like
I don't know. I haven't
Merlin
even
with his
thought about that.
brooms and the buckets.
Maybe.
It's like.
But I feel like he would be there and he would have like magical like pouring things that are doing it themselves. Into cups. Wait, why do you
Roll,
what do you need us to-
however you think Gruff would be dealing with a crowd of people. Go ahead and roll that roll. Like dexterity to pour quickly, arcana to use magic to assist, charisma to sort of charm and talk to people. Probably strength wouldn't come into play, or constitution, unless you could come up with a reason why.
Probably charisma. Natural 20.
Wow.
Damn.
So
Wow.
much like Gruff.
There's you do notice that out of the multitudes of people throughout the streets, hanging out of windows on the roofs, just doing cartwheels, dancing, there's a widespread, dense collection of people in a far dark corner of the mercantile district, and they're all coming away super happy. I'll say tonight, unless he decides to make it free, you can make quite a bit of money.
It's not free.
Okay. All right.
It's heavily
You make
discounted.
800
Buy
gold.
one, get one half off.
You make 800 gold pieces tonight.
Wow.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Okay. As you guys are taking the gondola back down, there is almost like a crowd waiting for you guys. Women, children, families, other mercenaries, just like, Orange obliterate! Orange obliterate! Maybe over here! Oh my god! Is it true? Did you really do all that? Oh, you got to see the queen? Oh, you saved us! I didn't see you. Wasn't aware of you until this moment. Oh, there you were. And you guys pretty much have to pass through a dense crowd of people just clamoring to get your attention.
Call them
Tim's going
calm down,
gonna get in
citizens,
there.
calm down.
Tim's gonna get in there, and
Crowd surf.
He's gonna. No, not crowd surf, but yeah, he's gonna try and pick up every little kid and give him a kiss on the forehead, and then
Okay, you go ahead and roll a charisma check.
you know how
Oh my
charismatic I am. 11.
god.
It's mildly successful. I mean, I think just due to the majesty of your presentation with your floppy, flowy robes and your now clean and sparkly skin and everything, people go from sort of excited fandom to just like realistically, like, oh yeah, well done, Tim. That was great. I heard a lot of good things about you.
Doesn't stop me.
You-
I still keep picking them up,
and
kissing
like,
them,
you-
and
like,
then tossing
yeah.
them.
And like the first two kids are just like happy. Ah, can you make me giant? And then you pick up one kid that's just like. Just
Like
looking
that,
at
that little girl
Yeah.
in the car seat.
Wait. Oh yeah.
Very exciting time. She was going
Yeah.
to Disneyland.
And the crowd after about
Wait, hold on, not done yet. I pick up some rocks and I like start putting them in people's hands, and I close them and I shake them, and
all these magical rocks.
it's just I give
What
them
do they
a
do?
crazy look. Magic, and then
Honey, we got magical rocks. We can pay rent
and
now.
I pick up some
Oh,
more
God.
rocks and I just start going like this. And
Magical rocks, yay! And like kids are taking them, like running away from them. Like other kids are like punching kids in the face and taking
Whoa.
them. And then like women are pulling each other's hair,
Ah.
fighting over them.
Goodness.
Calm down. There's more where they came from. I'll be making rock animals as soon as we get to
There's lots of caterpillars and worms.
Wiener dogs.
Yep. To the Belladonna city. Come on, let's go.
Okay, so you guys, after about 10 minutes
Where are you going?
of
Right here.
indulging the fans,
I'm just following.
after about 10 minutes of indulging the fans, the crowd sort of dies away and sort of understands. Like, you'll see fans like waiting, and then they just walk away because they feel like they would be intruding upon you at this point. And throughout your walk to the Belladonna system, which is, there were 2 gondolas leading up and down, leading to the top of the floating island. One was landed in a dock that connected the Belladonna and the Corellan system, and the other one that connected the Callan bar with the what was the other one? Psi system or something like that. Pretty much the mercantile with the residential, and you guys took the opposite gondola down because that's the one that you took up. So it's quite a bit of a walk. You do run into many different fans. They're like, Herchie, is it true you spit a mountain? And somebody comes up to you, Thunkey, and they say, it's a little girl, and she goes, "Can I be a brewmaster too?"
Of course you can. And I hand her a big old glass of beer.
Wow.
I'm gonna pat her on the back and send her on her way.
And she runs back to her parents, who are just like,
I give him an old stare like,
So yeah, it takes you guys about an hour and a half to get to the Belladonna district, and again, just like flame jugglers, different entertainers along the streets, musicians playing fanciful items not with their hands, or again, just wild displays of magic. It's like everybody is intending on taking a level of exhaustion the next night. It's like, again, imagine we're doing every single thing at your disposal this night. And it is the Belladonna system being sort of the park district of the city, the recreational district of the city, as well as the home to the Fancy Main. Your home base, or sort of the mercenary home base, is alit. There are different elemental spirits that are going around, and you can see one just like fly by a line of trees, and you see different flowers bloom across the sides of these trees, and you can see that there are many different games being played as well. People floating down a river filled with flower petals and different fish that you've never seen before, and again, sort of forest sprites hopping along the water as well. And you can see people playing sort of this bow and arrow competition game. You can see people jousting. You can see there's sort of magic carpet racing. You can see that there's, what else is there in here?
Magic carpet
You can
racing.
see that there is a caber toss. Any of you know what a caber toss is?
That
These
big log thing?
Yeah, big muscle-bound men and women
And Tim.
just taking huge sort of brass-lined and capped logs and chucking them up in the air to see who all can toss them the farthest. And there are people gathered around this very large, what looks to be sort of like different magical lenses lined on top of each other, looking into the night sky. And there's a bunch of kids gathered around this like teenager who's playing a game of ball in a cup, and they're all doing sort of like this ball in a cup competition. And so you guys can go there. You can go to the Fancy Main. You can indulge in any of these festive activities, or you can swim. I don't know.
I'm gonna grab again, just like 2 people's hands. Anyone, whether it's Barkir, Hercheck, or
What?
Thunkey. What?
I'm in the back.
Okay, then Barkir and Thunkey, and I'm gonna.
What? No, you're
Or sorry, not Barkir.
I'm going
Hercheck.
I'm going to the guards.
Okay, well then I'm grabbing Thunkey's hand and a rando, and I'm running into that flower petal lazy river thing.
Okay, just jumping in and then sort of gliding down the stream.
Yeah, it's like when you jump in a ball pit, like with no regard for the people in the ball pit, and somebody's just got a face full of my crotch.
Okay.
Oh my god, they're gonna get sent to the other dimension.
Possibly, but it's okay because we're laughing and having a good time. I quickly
go ahead and roll a dexterity check, and in this case, the higher it is, the worse it'll be.
15.
I really just want like a little a lovely couple to be holding their baby, and then your crotch just flies by and impacts.
Can we
you
say they were
impact the water
about to
beside
kiss each other? You know? Yeah.
them, and they're-
Maybe with the baby in the middle. They were about to both kiss like each side of the baby's cheeks. And then,
yeah, and then you fly by, and they see this. Would you say cyan? This
I'll
blur
jump
of cyan
backwards,
color.
you know, in there, and then like baby's face, and then slow mo, my butt.
Okay, you can. There you go. That's the scene. I had something,
And then-
but you got the scene now.
I kiss it.
That happens.
Thank you.
Yep.
But then I would like to just go from like activity to activity,
And,
and like in between, I'm grabbing
And
people's arms.
as the female opens her eyes, she sees her husband on the bottom of the small wooden boat, where his head is just gone, and you're in place of him.
Yep.
going. His head's inside the Pumention door, so.
Oh boy, I
And
shake
you
it
can
out,
see his. Okay.
but not after I get it one smooch.
Okay, go ahead and roll a charisma check.
15.
And I know these are just scenes of people
Are you adding your
describing what they
+1
want
with
to
your
happen.
suit?
Because I would normally have a negative. I rolled a 15, but because I have +1, it's actually 0. So 15.
Oh, for charisma?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. She goes, "Oh, Timarius?" And she sort of looks down at her husband, still squirming out, and she goes,
Yeah, and then I disappear into the flowers, and you see me like pop up like 5 feet later, just I don't know,
just
accidentally terrorizing another person.
I say this continues throughout the night
Yeah.
until you see sort of like the random citizens who are taking this lazy river down just slowly start to weed out, and less come, and then you start to get more and more sort of fan people coming down this river as well, and like when you jump up and present your taint to them, they like some wild things happen. So
I don't stay on that track. I move on to the next thing.
Whoa, okay. Hercheck, Varkir, anything you guys want to do?
Just exploring the town, just saying hi to people, just, here and there.
Yeah, I'm just going from like guard to guard, and like, how's it going? See anything? I'm doing well.
And you
Especially the monks. I want to go say hi to them.
okay. You get through a series of guards until one sort of with his shirt off starts walking away from the caber toss,
Oh.
and he wipes his brow, his sort of golden hair-lined brow, and he goes, "Hercheck!
Chris!
Well, it's incredible to see you here."
Yeah, it's been a while! Chris!
Yes, Hercheck.
Chris!
Hercheck.
Been a while!
It has been a long time.
Alright!
Ugh.
Would you care to join me in the caber toss? I've always wanted to test my strength against the myths.
I'm gonna pound the rest of the ale that Thunkey gave me.
Roll a Constitution saving throw.
11.
as soon as you take the mug from your mouth, you have to catch yourself as your vision swoops a little bit, and you sort of lock back onto Chris, you just see his smile, sort of like.
This is perfect because I did
Yes.
not want to be sober for the DOS.
Great!
Just in case.
I've heard a great many things about your adventures.
Well, all right then. Let's go, shall we?
Okay, I will do that. So grab a log, my friend.
I grab a log, my friend.
Okay, now make a strength check as both of you sort of these logs are being
19.
Okay, hold your horses.
You said make a strength check.
I did. These logs are being held up by just magic. They're just being held there, and then you guys take your positions and sort of put your hand underneath it, and some sort of like grizzled middle-aged guy, sort of like balding in the corner, just sitting on a seat, is just like, okay, all right, on your mark, get set, you toss your cables. And
It's like grandpa vendor, dude.
Grandpa and he waves his fingers, and as the magic is released, you grab the bottom of the giant log, crouch down in a squatting position, and release with all of your strength, very confident that you've pretty much won the day. And you put you stumble a little bit, and you put your knuckles on your hips, and you look at Chris, who is he's crushed by the log.
I lifted off of him.
He rolled a 1.
No,
yeah.
Chris!
And he's like, ho ho ho! Wow-wee! I just did this a few seconds ago. I guess I released all of my strength.
Chris, we're gonna have to work on that in the pits. I will see you tomorrow. And I make a really no, seriously, tomorrow. Pits. Unsatisfactory. And I smile and I wink at him.
All right, roll a persuasion check.
No, 3.
He's like, maybe when you're not so intoxicated.
Oh, smart.
Yes, we must speak on an honorable level playing
And
field.
I give him a whole the whole high five, grabbing the.
Pleasure to see you again, Hercheck.
You again, Chris.
And your caber lands on the ground, and
I finally lands.
like 2 feet deep into the grassy field, and a stuffed Triandol toy gets thrown in your direction.
Aww.
Yeah, have fun with it.
I grab it
Remember him well. He threw it farther.
Did he? How far did he throw?
Let's just say you could have continued that conversation for like another 3 or 4 lines.
Damn. Lines, huh? Alright. I'm gonna go try to find the monks after this.
Yeah, and Chris, his entire body is red, but his arms are still sort of his normal skin color, and he just sort of like hops away, picks his shirt up, and just hobbles. Go ahead and roll an investigation check.
Ooh, that is a investigation's wisdom.
Mhm.
18 was 19.
Yeah, you can find somebody from the Harmony of Quakes, and they are also sort of loosing their hymns all over the place, sort of like rock bending.
I go, men, go. Right up to him.
It doesn't work unless you drink the tea.
Just a greeting, kind of.
That is not our greeting.
See, you guys are new.
We were just recently recruited. The Shatter Peaks encountered a travesty.
I know. I helped Kine in that dire moment.
You're the Hercheck?
Yeah, the Hercheck.
Men go, my friend. Men go.
Oh, men go now, motherfucker.
I'm sorry, we do not take kindly to strangers. Presumptuous ones at that, but if you're Hercheck, we can be a little bit more lenient.
How is Kind doing?
He's been very busy these days, working with Carnigal to.
Hercheck does that. Like,
Do you is
he still transforming into ferrets?
Those ferrets run far and wide to deliver many messages across the land. That's how we were able to recuperate so quickly.
I'm glad to hear it. He was a good help to us. He really saved the day.
He's helped us rebuild our almost entire civilization. So, you are actually, even with the statues, you're a bit lower than Carnigal.
Well, that's fine.
Okay, just need to show respect where respect is due.
Yes. Well, tell Kind I give my regards and tell Carnigal to come back here when he sees fit.
Shall we so? Shall we so?
Good day.
Sao you?
Sao you.
Um,
I go find Farkir, like those guys.
Okay, is anybody else doing anything?
Did we make it to all the way, or was that all those activities are at the?
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
We can, as you guys sort of regroup from your own personal activities and shenanigans, one of the trees in the Belladonna system, a very large one that you all are sort of hanging out around, like, oh, do we want to do this? Do we want to do that? I think I'm going to hit up the Fancy Mane. Whatever you might be thinking, you hear this sort of slight shattering of why can't I think? What's the thing on the skin of bark? Slight shattering of
The
bark.
skin?
In the largest tree by you, and you see Teraphim sort of wave you guys in, like, hurry, quickly. And you, as you see the other side of this tree where she is, you see sort of the a glade behind her with moonlight sort of shining in, and this mountain of many different herbs and flowers behind her.
Thank God.
Hey guys, it's Terry. Let's go. Come on.
Is it good news? Cause I don't think I can handle a downer right now. I'm on the up and up.
It's
This
getting
party
lit.
is raging.
It's getting lit, fam. I go.
Rahum
Me too.
beckons you.
Oh.
Perk up.
Ah.
I start running.
Oh yeah, I'm going.
I'm gonna walk
If
like
I care.
this.
Yeah, Tim, off in the distance, on the top of the horizon of Orenbell through the fireworks, you can see this streak, this like continual stream of electricity coming in the direction of the Evergreen Forest.
Yeah. And I say, ooh, as I run.
And as you guys do this, the tree closes before any of you can make it inside, and then it opens back open again, and Teraphim goes, I can only hold it for 6 seconds. Quickly!
I run.
Sprint.
I go.
Okay.
Goodbye, people.
I can bring you back right after. She says, Tim, Rahum wants to speak with you. Specifically, the rest of you can come. But his words are for Tim. And it's good to see you all again. Did you find Nosha? Do you not remember? You've changed your look.
I wasn't there with the Prime Shade or that.
You were.
With the
Varkir
Titanic
was
Shambler.
there for the Titanus Shambler.
No, she was a Prime Shade. Alright, she was second I guess.
And she goes, "Ooh, you've changed your look. I like it." She had a thing for you before.
Did I ever talk to her?
You did, yes.
Did I like her?
A little
Yes.
bit, yeah.
What's up with? Just tell him he's
Just go for it.
I'm
Market
afraid
price.
my heart belongs to another, Miss Trislin.
Ooh.
You remembered my last name.
Was that that was your last name? I meant to say your first name. I'm sorry. I'm terribly sorry. But you know, the statement still stands. I'm terribly sorry, Miss Trislin.
But thought you remembered my last name.
That was your. I thought you said it was your first name.
Terrifying.
Teraphim is her first name. Tristan
I'm
is her
sorry,
last
I'm
name.
confused, Miss Trislan Teraphim.
You guys must have been through a lot in that short amount of time. Did you find the notion? What? Wow.
I worked really hard on
Did
it.
you make that?
Yeah.
Wow, okay. Man.
It's Tim with that girl.
All the kids.
Yeah, please put that up there during that. That'd be great.
How do you all like my glade? It's hard work to get it here.
It
And
looks
it's-
beautiful.
Yeah, just covered with an incredible kaleidoscope of different flowers, herbs, different trees, even small sort of fungal wildlife or fungal life that you haven't quite seen before.
Looks.
So, could I go up to Tristan and actually like pull out the moss that I got from the Encender Forest, the yellow moss? And be like, what? Can you tell me what this is? What this would do? I don't know where I got it. It's just I just have it.
Sure. I'll see what I can do.
I could use it as a toothbrush.
I don't give it to Tim ever.
A loofah?
Oof.
Yeah, she takes it and she'll say, I might be familiar with this, but I need to double check some of my books. And you hear as above the tree, sorry, above the Titanus Shambler, who has now sort of become a part of the landscape, similar to when you kill a Colossus in Shadow of the Colossus. And the lightning impacts right above it and sort of curls around it. And Teraphim leads you all to the side of the Titanus Shambler, where it descends down into a cave. And you can see this light blue light cascading along the walls.
I'm like, I got giddy feet. I'm like doing one of those jump heel clicks occasionally. I'm like, ooh. I keep tugging on people's clothing. I'm biting
Go,
on my
Tim.
own occasionally.
Go, Tim, go. It's your calling.
Yeah, I'm gonna lift up my robes and
Run! Don't
and
stop!
run
Tip's
there.
like Willy Wonka in the chocolate factory when he gets his golden ticket. Run, Tip!
Are any of you
Run.
guys going with him?
I'm gonna follow
Thought it was
behind.
just for Tim.
Well, he has words for Tim, but she said you guys can accompany him. You guys have met Rahum previously, so.
I don't know, Tim. This.
I've already
Deal.
taken off,
I follow along like gods.
skipping off.
Gods. We'll see what this god is.
And as you descend into the sort of soil-based cave, you start to see roots, bright blue roots, curl along the top and bottom of the cave lining. And when you descend, honestly, you it's not too far down. It's maybe like 20, 30 feet. It opens into this chamber underneath the Titanus Shambler, where you are now, for the first time physically, in what looks to be a material realm recreation of what you've seen in your dreams quite a few times. The almost pulsing light blue tree with its branches going. It almost looks like a parallel vision of roots growing down and going into the soil, and then roots growing up into the soil above. And you see the face that you saw in the stone before of Rahum. And he addresses you, Tim, and he says, I forgot his voice, fuck.
Tim, you have taken to my power quite nicely, I see. Only one not shackled to the material realm's false influence could ever hope to channel such power. Only through not knowing the possible can you ever hope to attain the impossible, I say. You have an innocent mind and a withered body. I offer you now a chance. an opportunity to shred, or to shed your ragged form, and join me. Hold on. And join with my primordial essence. You may have failed to find a temple to reincarnate my soul, but I have found you.
I lift my robes and I start laughing and I make a circle. I'm like, and I say, join you, I shall. And then,
You don't even want to think about it for a little while. You don't want to sit on it. You just want to hop right in. Oh, that's okay. That's exactly
wait,
what
I
I
say,
thought.
wait.
Oh,
You're right. You're right. And I do one of those.
are you sure? We could do it right now.
Back at the group, and I said, hold on, gotta make this right. And then I'll walk back to the group, and I'm gonna go up to everybody individually, and lick them, and say, like right on the just a little bit. I lick your hand a little bit though. I get you.
That's fine.
Say, you guys, nothing's ever tasted so great than being with you, and I'll remember that taste forever. I'll take it with me everywhere I go, and I hope you do the same. 'Cause I don't think I'll ever have this again. I'll have something new, real cool. Oh God, yeah, it's gonna be good. But there was nothing. There's never gonna be anything like what we had, and I've lived a long, long time.
Aren't you searching for somebody?
I think I found it. I found my somebody.
Tim, you still got those boots?
Oh yeah. And I'll take off the boots.
You never put them on.
No, I did.
No, you didn't.
In the 2 weeks.
Oh, in the
Okay,
two. Yeah.
okay, all right.
In the 2 weeks, I put them on. I give them to you.
As he passes them over, I give him a big old bear hug.
Mm.
Like, Tim, you're quite the weird one. We had some conflict at first, but you definitely grew in me.
Oh, hey.
Is that
I
right?
give
Did
you one of
I
those
say that right?
things.
Did I say that right? Yeah. Give him old.
You missed it. And then, anybody else got anything they want to say?
I'll
All right.
miss you, Tim.
I'm gonna
Heartfelt
say,
moment.
I'm gonna put my hand in, and then
Yeah,
hope
put
everybody
my-
else does the
put my
same
hand
thing.
in.
And I'm gonna try to say at the same time.
Words
And then I'm gonna like start walking backwards, and then just like run back over to Varkir, like, and then not Varkir, not Varkir, back over to Rahum, and then give a big old nod.
I feel like I should let you know that your body will be used as a conduit and therefore be destroyed in the process, as you have handled my power before, but you've never handled all of its wild might.
Wait, but what about these fancy linens or fibers, garbs, gown? I forget what they call these.
Blown to pieces.
Oh.
Probably no part of them will ever.
I know just what to do then. And I look back over and I start, stripping, basically making the robe like, edge off my shoulder, all sexy like, and I'll look over at Varkir and be like,
I'm gonna.
And then I'll do the other side and take that side of the robe off.
And even
slowly.
Penke is sort of waving from the pocket.
We'll see each other again, I'm sure, Timarius.
Throw up rainbows in the corner.
And I'm basically just gonna remove my clothes right there, and I'll run them back over. I'll just run them back over. Like, does anybody want this? You can go in the bag. You can back here. They're clean, I swear.
Do it again. Just
I'll put him. I'll take him. I'll put him in the bag.
All right, and then
That
I'll
was good money.
I'll hand over the staff as well.
I do not put that in the bag.
Why not?
You see a hand just like.
What? You don't want the staff?
Oh,
It's a good staff.
I'll put it in the bag for later. I know who could use this.
And I'm naked now, so I'm gonna
Dick
take off the
dick
beard
swing.
clasp, and then for anybody who else becomes worthy of this, don't be a hoarder now. And then I'll give it to. You have the bag of holding?
Yeah.
Hercheck. I'll give it to Hercheck.
What is it?
The beard. What do we call it? Clasp?
Oh yeah, the
or
beard clasp.
yeah.
Nice. Or cap. Class. Class. I don't know.
And so then I'll do one of those like overly like military maneuvers to turn
Pivot?
around. Yeah, pivot.
About
Like a 180 pivot. And then I'll let a little fart and then I'll run him back over there.
And you
I take it in like. The last one by Dick.
Remember me.
Now, let our souls be one.
I'm gonna go like
and
this.
the tree
Arms out.
highlights and the entire mass starts to rumble around you all as it pulses, and Tim almost immediately mid-stride just turns into this continual, all of his limbs sort of shoot out lightning, and his body gets burned to cinders and disappears entirely. And as his body burns, sort of this cloak comes, this large ethereal cloak comes out from where his arms were and billows out from where his legs were, and the streaks of lightning shoot into the face of this entity, and these bearded tentacles are extending out and waving in every direction, and he holds his hand out and grasps a thunderbolt that materializes into this gnarled wooden staff, and he's laughing
lick,
the
snip,
entire
and
time.
bite it.
You
And
So
I get zapped. I don't care.
No, you have disappeared. Tim is gone.
You are Ash.
Oh, but I thought that like I become like this lightning, like an embodiment of a
become a
lightning
staff.
thing. Or are you talking about that?
You are
Who
his
is
avatar. Your body's gone.
my body's gone? But you said I have a beard, so I imagine I have a mouth.
Oh, he has a beard.
Or
So
the shape of
so
a mouth.
so
Something to bite with. No.
Timarahum or Rahumius
Oh.
is now the being in the chamber with them, and the tree has sort of, you have absorbed the tree's energy, and the tree is no longer there, pretty much, and the entirety of this chamber is just this swirling electrical storm of connection points coming in and out of the creature, who has a very familiar face of Tim, but for all intents and purposes, weirdly, and decide to take it how you will, is just, it's hard to be in the presence of this creature who is this deity who has been reformed.
So it's like Vegito or something. Like they combined, but Rahum took over the mind. But he looks like Tim almost.
Exactly. And this and he's also just, it's hard for this entity to even be contained in this chamber before turning into a ball and just shooting out into the sky. And as he leaves,
Go kill Cortessa.
this silence pervades over the area before you start to hear as it starts to rain down on your position.
Is he going to
Sick.
kill Cortessa? You better go kill Cortessa. I mean, he's back. So we should kill him.
It was like a
Oh.
lightning trail that traced out, and
Yeah.
then like out and
Yeah,
thunderous roar and stuff.
and you hear
Nice.
Thunkey, you're the only person who hears this, but you hear in a mixture of Tim and Rahum's voice.
Brewmaster in nature, Surfer, would you be our storm priest, a nomad to wander Terra's electrical ley lines and beckon us when needed?
And in a small sort of the same mark of Rahum. How would you change the mark? How would Tim change the symbol? Sort of like the wild tree mark of Rahum.
You know so kind of what I pictured was Titus's necklace from Final Fantasy X,
Oh yeah, but like a T.
but in the shape of a D. Yeah.
Okay, so sort of yeah, these like wild roots now coming out of your hand is just the T. It's actually not the roots, and you can decide to pretty much be a storm priest for Rahum, or you can just be like, nah, I'm just gonna go back to the city and enjoy life with Gruff.
I guess I'll call out, like, can I still run my shop and be storm priestess?
Just a laugh in your head. You can take it how you want.
I'm gonna be like, I accept.
Okay, it's the lightning or the symbol in your hand sort of transfers. Where did you have your symbol again?
I don't remember. I never used it.
Wherever you want it. Whenever you want that tattoo mark thing.
I'll put it on my hand.
Okay. And with that, we can call it an episode tonight.
Sweet.
As you guys now are down 2 of Orin's Obliterate. After... Well, we'll say that Terrafim takes you guys back to the city where the festivities are still happening.
Before we get back, I'm gonna build a little, small little shrine out of rocks, and then I'm gonna just put Timarius.
Making a little cave.
Yeah, make a little cave, and I'll just put in honor of Timarius.
Cool. Okay.
Nice. You hear a little rumble in the sky.
Nice.
Oh.
From the cave.
Nice.
I'll spit in my hand and pat the rocks.
Thanks, guys. Tim cares.
What happened to the gem you had that was from? Did it just blow and burn up with your body? I guess.
Explode.
Well, I took all of my possessions off and handed it over.
Oh shit! So I got the heart gem now.
No, that was not. You said that was.
It was luminary gem of heart.
Oh, I took that as you said you can put it on your body, right?
Yeah.
So I slapped it on my forehead. Does that
I did say you had to attune to it.
Okay, well I felt a little.
That's why it was real
stupid
funny
when I
it
did
didn't.
it.
I know what to do with it.
Okay.
Nice.
Um,
Give it to a warforged. Make him a real boy.
Hey,
what I'm gonna do.
now.
Terrafim.
Wow, smart.
That's exactly what I was gonna do.
It's exactly like the Tin Man. Wow, that's weird.
Dang, who thought of that?
Yeah, did you think of this? Did you plan all this?
He needs energy.
There you go.
Heart.
Hey guys, we're slipping into.
Weird.
Guys,
Thing.
the
The
video's
video's ended
no.
by now.
Real weird.
This is all a choice that you guys
Cut all
made
this out.
and thought of
Spoilers.
on your own. I had no part of it.
Storylines are happening.
So, Terrafim
Truman
takes
Show
you
is
back
real.
to the same work that she left you in, and pretty much says I still have work to do here. As much as I wish I could join in the festivities, it's gonna be lonely without Rahum. He was not bad company. And she makes eye contact with you, Varkir, and as you see her eye slowly close into a wink, the tree.
My moss.
She'll get back to you. She just turns around and throws the moss on the ground. And Thunkey, you, however you wish to make your exit, or if you want to do that next session.
I'll do it next session.
Okay.
I'll think of it. So for now, I'm heading back to my store.
Okay. The festivities of the night continue well into the morning until sort of the magic flares slowly fade. And you see people just like passed out in the park and in the streets, and Orenbell is for the most part kind of in need of slight repair. The sky returns to normal, and unless you are a very good sleeper, I probably would say you didn't quite get to sleep until probably about 6 in the morning. And everybody wakes up in their place of in their own respective homes or rooms, with the exception of Timarius, who is now a storm currently above the evergreen forest. Und
I mean, I was just gonna say,
Und that is where we will pick up next time. And you can, whenever you want, Tim whom, you can speak to Thunkey.
okay. Ain't dead yet.
And that was where the next day is where we'll pick up next time on
SASANS and Dragons. Where will Orin's Obliterate find themselves next time? Will they get back on Coltessa's track? Will they find another whim of theirs to follow in another direction? To find and seize another destiny? Find out next time on SASANS and Dragons. Thank you for joining us, SASANS. As always, until fate next brings us together. And never stop playing role-playing games.
夜明け生まれ来るものよ決して